What's up guys, you're welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'll show you how to make this long sleeve blouse with a bishop collar. So let's get started. For this blouse, you fold your fabric into 4 places and then you leave 1 inch on this side. So I have 1 inch here. So you fold your fabric like this into 2 and then into 2 again, and then you leave 1 inch on this side. Then on the top part, you take your shoulder measurement divided by 2. So you place your tape here like this, and then for mine I have 7.5 inches, and then you add 1/2 inch to it, so I have 8 inches altogether. And then on this line you mark 9 inches. You place your tape here and then mark 9 inches. And then I'll connect this line to this line. On this 9 inches mark, I'll take my bust measurement. So you divide your bust measurement from here. You divide your bust measurement by 4. I have 9 inches. And then I'll add 1.5 inch to it. So I have 9 inches plus 1.5 inch. That's 10.5. To get my waist measurement, I'll place my tape here and then mark 16 inches. So on this line, I'll take my waist measurement divided by 4. I have 8.5. And then I'll add 1.5 inch to it. And then I'll connect the bust line down to the waistline. And then I'll just go ahead and draw a slant line to the end of the blouse. So on the bottom part, I'll come here, I'll mark 3 inches. And then I'll draw a slant line down to this place and then connect it to the end of the blouse. So I'll come over to this place and take my armhole curve. So I'll place my tape here and mark 1 inch. And then draw a curved line from here down to this place. And then for my shoulder slant, I'll take 1/2 inch. I'll mark 1/2 inch here and then connect it to this part. Again, for the shoulder slant, I took 1/2 inch, and then I'll just draw a line from here down to this place. And then I'll go ahead and cut. For the back bodice, I'll just flip this over and mark 9 inches. And then when you're sewing, you sew from here down to the end of the blouse. So this will be the opening for the back bodice. For the neckline, I'll mark 2.5 inches for the width. And then mark 3 inches for the depth. For the back neckline, I'll use 1.5 inches. And then I'll draw a curved line here like this. And then draw a curved line here like this. And then I'll go ahead and cut. Again, I used 2.5 inches for the width, and then 3 inches for the front neckline, and 1.5 inch for the back neckline. Then I draw a curved line here like this, So I'll first cut the back neckline. And then take off the back bodice and then cut the front neckline. For the sleeves, you fold your fabric into 4 places and then you take the length of your sleeve. So for mine, I have 26 inches. So the length of my sleeve is 23 inches and then I added 3 inches to it, so I have 26 inches. So it's the length of your sleeve plus 3 inches. So on the top of my sleeve, I'll take 6 inches. And then I'll draw a curved line from here down to this place. And then on the bottom part, I'll take my wrist circumference divided by 2. I have 4 inches. And then I'll add 5 inches to it. So you divide your wrist circumference by 2 and then add 5 inches to it. And then you connect this line down to this place. And then you cut. After cutting, I'll notch this part. To join the blouse together, you take your back bodice, you go ahead and sew from here down to this place. So you're sewing right sides facing each other. After sewing, you go ahead and fold this part in like this, and then you hem. You also fold this part in like this, and then you hem. So you just sew it from here down to this place and then continue sewing and stop here. The next step is to join the shoulders together. So with the right sides facing each other, you go ahead and join the shoulders together. So I'm going to trim a bit from the neckline. After joining the shoulders together, you take your sleeve. With the right sides facing each other, you place the notched part of your sleeve to the shoulder line and then you pin it. So you can pin the entire sleeve. So when you're sewing the sleeve, you sew it straight down, and then when you get to this point, about 1 inch to the shoulder line, you make some pleats. You make the pleats down to the other side, and then you continue sewing till the end. So this is how I attached my sleeve. The next thing is to join the sides of the blouse. So you pin the armholes together. And then you sew from the sleeve down to the end of the blouse. And then you do the same for the other side. You sew from the sleeves down to the end of the blouse. After joining the sides of the blouse, we're going to fix the collar. So I reduced the neck depth by 1 inch. So the next thing is to measure the entire neckline. For mine, I have about 20 inches. And then you take a piece of fabric, you fold it into 2, and then you fold it again into 2. So you have 4 layers. And then you divide the neckline, which is 20 inches, by 4. So I have 5 inches. So I'm going to mark out the 5 inches on this part. I'll place my tape here and then mark out 5 inches. Again, you divide the neckline by 4. So I have 5 inches. And then you place your tape here and then mark the 5 inches. And then for the width of my collar, I'll use 2 inches. So you place your tape here and mark 2 inches. So you mark 2 inches all around. and then you go ahead and cut. On this edge, I'll just draw a curved line here like this, and then I'll cut. So you have two pieces. The next thing is to cut out your facing. So you cut your facing and then you iron it on the wrong side of the fabric. The next step is to sew from here down to this place and then down to the other end, to this other end. So just a quick one, when you're cutting the collar, you add at least 1 inch or half an inch, so you can use that to join the sides of the collar. After sewing, you snip it around. And then you flip it inside out and iron it. Again, I forgot to attach my button loop on one side of the collar. So I'm going to lose this part, lose one of the edges, and then attach my button loop to it. You take your button loop, I just cut a tiny piece of elastic, you slide it into one edge of the collar, and then you go ahead and sew. You stitch it together. And then you fold the collar into two, and then mark the midpoint. And then you take your blouse, you fold the neckline into two, and then notch the midpoint. And then you take the notched part of your collar, you pin it to the neckline, to the notched part of the neckline. And then you pin the entire collar to the neckline. So after pinning the entire collar to the neckline, you go ahead and sew. So after sewing it together, you go ahead and sew your button on one side of the collar. And then this is what you have. So here's the collar. So for the sleeves, you just go ahead and hem it, and then you leave a space for your elastic, and then you insert your elastic and then close the space. You do the same for both sleeves, and then you hem the bottom of the blouse, and that's it. So here's the blouse. Please like and share this video, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you have not. I love you for watching. Thank you.